Hey guys, it's Alexis from Ask Alexis here. And I have a message today that was inspired by a few people. One of them was Dr. Rebecca Fain. Want to make sure I bring that out, give her credit, because we had a talk about some things that are maybe personal or not. So I won't even say what the talk was about. But a thing that came up was the way that we other. And then I'm going to bring it back to that. But I had a discourse on Facebook where a guy, a white male, was being very, very disrespectful to me. Like I had a conversation with me and another person on Facebook, and he came in calling me ignorant and telling me that what I had to say was ignorant. And then when we went back and forth, he got very triggered and he got more and more disrespectful. And though he was called out by more than one person for his disrespect, he started accusing me of calling him a racist, which I never did. And at the end, he was like, I'm sorry, but I'm being as respectful as I can be in the face of that ignorance. And what I said to him was, if that is as respectful as you can be, I advise you to seek therapy because you are probably the type of person who would be harmful to your boyfriend, your wife, your girlfriend, and then be like, look what you made me do. That may not have, that might have been a little passive aggressive. It was passive aggressive. But nonetheless, I'm a human too. But he said, like, that is respectful as I can be in the face of this ignorance. And for me, that says nothing about my character and I don't really care about his opinion, in my opinion. But what makes you think it's okay, or why is it okay that when we disagree with something to like disrespectful? We were having a conversation, and my opinions he felt firmly entitled to be disrespectful to. And then when checked about that disrespect, he felt triggered and like he was being attacked. And so he got all defensive and started gaslighting all the normal white fragility things and how how terrible it is to be a white man in America today, blah, blah, blah. And I roll my eyes to that because I don't understand it. But it is like, why is it okay to other in a way that's harmful? That is how we got here, okay? That is how we got to this place, is othering in a way that says the other is the villain and therefore they should be punished. The second part of this post is I was having a conversation with someone who is doing the work to explain to people, and they are white. They're doing the work to explain to people why all lives matter is inappropriate. And I had this thought come to me this morning. I wouldn't be as offended by all lives matter if it was not said in opposition to Black Lives Matter. That's the only time we've heard all lives matter. But then if the people who are screaming all lives matter would then begin to do the work to make sure that all lives matter, including LGBTQIA people, poor people, criminals, and I use that term criminal loosely, immigrants, like if those lives began to matter too, Black lives, that's my passion. But if you did the work to make sure that those lives were included in your all, instead of just being defensive about Black Lives Matter, people might not be as mad at your all lives matter. But until you're willing to do that work, don't say it. Black lives matter, and the reason we say it is because Black lives need to matter. People do not treat them like they matter. But if you say all lives matter in anything other than defense to Black Lives Matter, be willing to do the work. And even if you say it in defense, be willing to do the work to make sure that in this society, all lives actually do matter. Because if you're not going to do the work, you're just being a defensive asshole. And just call it what it is. And maybe not an asshole, that might be judgmental, but you probably are choosing to be defensive and be a little nasty with it because you know that that's triggering. So you're not trying to hear the pain of the person who's telling you that I want to feel like my life matters. You're not trying to be compassionate to that person who say, please let my life matter. What you are is deciding to defend against the belief that Black lives don't matter or that they shouldn't matter equally. Like, I'm not sure. Let me not speak for you, but If you're not going to be then become an advocate for an inclusive society where all lives can matter without being punished for their existence, you're just being defensive. And you know what they say, a hit dog hollers.